Hey, Nyakun here. So today we are going to build something in Droip, and what we are going to build is what you do see over here. So I found this design on Dribbble, and it has a lot of things that yeah, there's a lot of things that we will be able to learn by building this, especially these things over here. I'm talking about like the gradient on each side, and also trying to deal with this. I think these lines over here are just for cosmetic. We are not going to try and do that, but the gradient over here we are going to try and get that sorted. And yeah, I think we should be able to do. You can see that the gradient, they are more like circular instead of like just a normal like gradient from left to right in a linear form. But I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna go about achieving that. So that being said, let's go into our build and let's try and get something done. So I'm going to use this one. Open up in admin. All right, and over here what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new page. So inside the Droip builder, so create page with Droip. So it opens up a new page for me. One thing that I want to do is give it a name. What name are they? AKVEO. So that's the name that I'm going to give. So I'm going to go into rename. So AKVEO. But let me copy that, and then let me go into settings. I want to change the page URL to this too. So let's save that, and I'm going to publish it by clicking on that. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this to 1920 so I can create the gradient. So all right, 1920 is good. All right, so that is fair enough. Next thing that we're gonna do is add a section, right? So main section over here. So that's the main section. I'm gonna go here and detach that, and then I'm gonna call it AK hero section, right? Yeah, let's do that. Let's call that. All right, so AK hero section. AK sounds more like a gun, right? AK-47. Sorry about that, but yeah. So that is the name for the hero. What I'm going to do is go into size, and then for height I'm going to give this one 1080. I don't know why, for some reason my number 8 is not working. I don't know if I don't know why. That one I can't tell. All right, so down is also not working. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm gonna make sure I pull this one to all right 1080. So that is for the hero section. Next thing that I'm going to do is let's deal with our gradient. So we can see that we do have this gradient here. We can try and use linear. Linear can work, but I can show you another trick that you can actually really use that is really cool. So the trick is going to be, so we're going to click on, first we need to add a base color of black. So there's a base color of black, as you can see. The next thing that I'm going to do is to add a gradient color. We're going to have two gradient colors. I'm going to pull this up so to be on top of it like that, and then click on the gradient, and let's bring this to the middle. Let's go back into, and then I'm going to copy. I'm going to look for, what color is this? Let's sample some of the color here. I don't think we're going to get exact color, but it's a blue black. So blue black, selecting this black, I'm going to paste the color I just sampled, so that is that color. And then this white, what we want to do is we want to take it away. So I've taken that white away. Now we're going to hover. When we hover, you're going to see this. You can see that the mouse, the cursor pointer is changed. So I'm going to drag this all the way to the top here, right? And then I'm going to make this a bit smaller over there. You see? So, all right. So we've created like the very first one, but you can see that there's a white on top of it. So what we can do is we can, when we hover on the line and we click, we can add another color over there. But what probably I want to do is change this one to that white, select the next color, and I'm going to paste the blue that I just copied. But this one, probably let's drag it, let's make it a blue, right? Blue. and then I'm just going to push it to this side, push it to that side, and then I'm going to probably reduce the color a bit, select the next one, and I think that should be good. It's not most accurate version of it, but it is very close. Probably want to bring this a bit to the side. All right, so I think that is good for the top part. And let's add another one. So another gradient. Close this and then let's drag this all the way up. Open up the gradient. Let's drag this to the middle. And then as we did, we're going to remove the outer color. Select that and then let's give it that blue black. And just like the first one, we are going to hover on this and then drag this all the way down there. All right, I want to pull this out a bit. All right, so I think that is good for how to create that. So if you want to create something more like that, so that is how to do that. And you can see that it has a really modular way of building, especially with gradient stuff. It's really nice, and I do like how it has been implemented. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is to try and then build this out. So first things first, selecting still the main section, go into structure. I want to give padding top 100, also bottom 100. Left, I want to make like 20 pixels. Right, I want to make like 20 pixels, and that should be good. And from there, I am going to add a container. Container come like the size is pre-made, and the size that I do want is 1440. So that is the size that I do want. So make that sized, and from there we are going to add this text over here. All right, so what I didn't do is give this a class, which is not good. I'm going to detach these and then detach them, and then I'm going to give it ak dash inner let's say div, right? Right, that is good. And I am going to give this one 1440, and for width I'm going to make this 100%. I think that is fair. All right, so that is good. From there, what we do need is our text. So for text, I'm going to add a heading text because probably use a heading text. And from here, I'm going to detach this and then give it ak hero dash dash txt. And from there, let's go into typography. For color, let's give a white. So these are like pre-saved colors. You can also pre-save it by just selecting a color and then clicking on this add color swatch. So that is a white, and I'm going to change this one to, let's say, clash. Not clash, let's do this one, and then let's choose medium. All right, from there, let's go for this text, AppSmith low code development platform. So I'm going to select everything. It's AppSmith low code development platform. I think I got it correct, right? All right, so you can see that it breaks down over here. What we can do is we can break this down manually, and I think that is good. And we can raise the size of the type, raise it a bit more. Yeah, then we can go to like probably, let's say 120. I think 120 is good. And for this, I'm also going to make this one like 120 for line height, and I think that is fair. Okay, let's make sure. Mostly it comes with like pre-defined. You can see that the tab already has like predefined margins and stuff like that. We can take them off. That is pretty good. All right, we are going to deal with this. So with this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a div block. Div block. I have to make sure that this div block. Let's put a div block into the main container, right? All right, so drag this into main container. I want to put this one at the top. All right, so div block is in the main container, and with this one, what we want to do is probably, I would say this is a grade of 3 because some have different width and other stuff like that. All right, we just want to use a flex. So first things first, this div block, what I'm going to do is go back into element, and let's call this one AK let's say can't dead. All right, that is good. Let's add another div block inside. Let's go into layer. So this div block is going to hold, maybe let us not use that div. Going back, we need to add an SVG. This SVG, we need to add it. So I don't think I want to put it inside a div block. We can just add it without placing it in a div block. So let's add an SVG, right? And we are going to make this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select circle. I'm going to zoom in a bit, and then we're going to try and recreate this. All right, so drag this out, and then drag this out. Drag this out too. All right, so that is cool. Remove that. Let's select code, sorry, stroke, and then let's do linear. I want linear. I want it to come to middle like that, and then let's drag also this to the middle. All right, that is good. And for this, I want to remove that color. I want to select this black, make it a white, or we can even bring it down to like a gray. Yeah. All right, I think this is good. And yeah, we can even make this one white, but then it is off, and I think that is fine. All right, so we do have something more like that, but you can see that this the fade is not the worst. All right, so we do have this. So next thing I'm going to do is duplicate it. So duplicate this one to go here, and then select this, duplicate it to go here. Select another one, duplicate it to go here, and select another one, duplicate it to go here. All right, so next then you can say we have all this eclipse. We are going to group it. So we group that, and then we can give we can right click, we can go here, right click, and then we can copy. So you can copy a SVG. So going back into the design, add media, sorry. So you can set up paste SVG. So over here, we can just paste our SVG in there, and then set update. And we do have the SVG right there without doing much. All right, so next, going into size, we can give this one, I'm going to detach that, and then give it, let's say AK SVG circle, right, for the class. And then from here we can say size, right? Let's make it 120. I think 120 is good. All right, so that is that. Next thing that we want to do is to add all of this text that they've written over here. And to do that, going back into our element, we are going to add a paragraph. So paragraph, let's make sure, delete that, select, go back into layer. I want to select the div block, and then I'll put a paragraph in there. So paragraph, so we can see our paragraph is here. What I'm going to do is detach that, and then call this one AK para, which is cool. And for typography, I'm going to say this is probably like let's say 16. And for color, we're going to select that color. That is good. I don't want to change this text. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of time. I don't think it's necessary. Next thing that we want to do is this very thing. And for this, the fun thing about this builder is that if you want to create things on this path, you can actually do it in the builder. So that is what we are going to try and do. All right, so to do that, we need to just say we want to add an SVG, but we want this display icon and stuff like that. So what we actually need is to add another div block. So div block, and then inside that div block, we're going to add that, and then also the icon for the SVG. But let's add SVG, right? And then click on add media. From here, you can see SVG shape, image clip, and then you have text path. So let's click on text path, and then from here we can change our text to, what do they have here? App Smith overview video. So App Smith overview video. which is good. And then we can just scroll down here and then pick this because that's the circle that we want. And let's just click on add. It's going to be a bit bigger than what it needs to be, but from here, I'm going to go in there and detach that and then call the AK so AK dash dash SVG dash dash path, right? That is good. And then we can go into size, and then for size we can deal with all the things that we need to deal with. So something like that, the height, let's do 120. All right. And then also for like text, you can come in here and then change the color to like a white, and you can close that, and then we can start raising the font size to something that we do actually need. And let's make this one bold. Let's change this one to this, and let's make it like semi bold like that. Yeah. And if we want, we can rotate this any way that we want. So we're going to transform, and then on the Z axis we can rotate. Let us not do that. Yeah. All right. Let's close this a bit. All right. So this is good for what we do want, and let's make sure that this one, as you can see, this is and in a flex form. So going back into layer, we can click on this and then go into structure, right? And then make sure that this is in flex. Okay, this one, the width is a bit too much, so width, I'm going to say maybe fit content. This is good. And then for this too, I'm going to change the, we have like a for let's say make this one like 450. Oh, that's height, don't do that. For width, let's do 450, right? All right, I think 450 is good. And then going back into our div block, I'm going to click on this. When you select the div block, you can see this over here. You can click on that. You can make like more changes over here too. So let's say in between 20 pixels. I think 20 pixels is good. And then let me save that. We can also, what other thing can we do here? All right, what I want to do is not possible here. I'm going to close that, go into the structure again, make sure that this is not up top, but everything is like centered like that. I think that is good. So that, and then that. All right, next thing is probably like do this background thing. So SVG is here, div block is also there. For this div, let's give let's say AK path BG, right? And then what I want to do is I want to give it, let's lock this in, give this one 20 pixels all around. Let's say 30 pixels, maybe 50 is probably too much. All right, I'm gonna give like 30. All right, that being done, I'm gonna go into size, right? Let's say what do I want to do? Let's say, all right, 180. Oh, I can't even do 180 anymore. Let's do 170, right? And then I am going to raise this up to 180. And then for height, I'm going to also do 170. And then also raise this up. You know, let's do 190. 190 is good. And then let's also raise this one to 190. All right. And then what I'm going to do is probably make this into flex. So flex, everything is centered like that. And the next thing that I actually want to do is to add an icon for the play. So let's add another SVG. And then for this SVG, I'm going to click on add media. I just want a play, maybe not SVG, right? Let's just add an icon. So going back into element, I need to find, okay, icon, and then add media. And then for here, we can just type in play, and we can use this play one, and then just add SVG. And then over here, I can detach that and then give it AK icon. AK play icon. All right, and for that we can go into typography and then change the color. Okay, and what we can do next is to change position. So position for this, we can say position, and then we can change it to absolute. All right, and we can go into size and make this one like, let's lock this in and then make this like 30 pixels, maybe too small. All right, so that is good. And what next is to give this one a background color. What background color are they using here? It's like a gradient. So let's choose this gradient. And I'm going to try and get the color from here. So let's draw this. And let's select this color. So that color first. So selecting that, I can change this color to that. And then the next one, which is the one behind, I can also go back here and select this color too. So I can paste that color also in here. All right, I think that is good. The next one is to make this one into like a circular one. So selecting that div again, we can go into stroke, and then from here you can see radius. You can make this one 100%, and that should be good. I think that is good. All right, let's save that. And inside our main, inside this container, let's go back into layer, select this container. I want to make this container into flex. So go into structure, change this one into flex. Make sure that it is in a column. And we can also give it like column gaps of, let's say, 40 pixels. I think that is good. All right. And there's something. I think that is good. That is good. Maybe make this 0 all around because we don't need it. Apart from that, I think everything is good. All right, I think everything is good. Yeah, I think we've tried with that. And yeah, and then we can add our button. So if you want to add a button, make sure that our container is selected. And then element, we can add a button over here. So button, see our button, but put this one to the left. All right, and then we can also make this one centered. All right, so go back, select the button, and this is our color. So let me select this again. I want to select this very color over here. So copy that. Our button, I'm going to detach and then give it AK-BTN. Okay, and then for typography, I want typography to be white. For background, one background to be this color, and the text inside is let's start. So going in here, let's say let's start, and go back into layer, select our button. I'm going to go into element. I want to add an icon, and then for this icon, replace icon, and then looks like a play. So I'm just going to select this play, add that. You can see that it's a bit bigger than what it should be. So from here we can move, and then let's lock this in, and let's give this one like 24 pixels like that. But going back into our layer, select our button. Want to change this one structure into flex. So flex. So center that, and yeah, I think that is okay. Okay, so next thing I want to do is probably like go into structure again on the left hand side. I'm going to unlock this, but probably let's lock this one, and then make this one like 20 pixels at the top, maybe 15. Okay, and then let's unlock this, and then on the left hand side I'm going to do like 30 pixels. On the right hand side too, let's do 30 pixels. And then we can go back into our stroke, and then for radius we can make this one like 25 pixels. But you can see that our button is a bit big. I want to go, you can see that there's still stroke on this. I don't want no stroke. I just want the border radius. Our button is a bit bigger than what it is, and then our icon is also a bit smaller. So I'm gonna go into size for the icon, raise the side a bit. All right. Let's say 40 pixels, right? And then here too, let's do 40 pixels. Okay, now it's a bit bigger, and I want to change the radius for this to like a 10, and also for this to like a 10. Even let's do like a 5, and then let's do another 5 here. All right, I think that is fair enough for this. If we want to add like a background color, we can add a background color of something. You can see this has a background color of white. Give it a background color of white, and then also we can go into typography, and then we can change this one to a black if we want to, and we can go into stroke, and then change this one to, let's say, 25. I think it's a circle, so we can make this percentage of 100%. All right, and clicking back on our button, we can click on this very thin, and then we can give it like a spacing over here. Let's say 10 pixel spacing, and then what did I do? Okay, we don't want it on this side. It's this one rather. So all right, so that is good. And probably let's change the size of this. Let's lock this. We can see that the structure here being 30 is not giving like a good feeling. Even that is too a lot. Yeah, I think that is good. And then we can maybe for like stroke purpose over here, I want to give this one like 50-50. Let me see how it feels. That's a nice one, but probably let us not do that. All right, this is better. It's not the best, but it's better than what we do have. All right, so we do have something more like this, and if we want to create this at the bottom, we can do that too. To create this whole body thing, I'm going to select our container, go into structure, and then for the down bottom, I'm going to give this one like 100 pixels, right? And then I'm going to go into stroke. I'm going to click on this to bring out all the other borders. Click on the bottom one, the one that I want to change. Give this one 1 pixel, and then change the color to like something more like that. So we do have that. You can see it's even more fainter than it is. So probably I want to maybe reduce even this one to that. All right, I think that is good. And now we do have like a grid of 3 with icons at the top. So what we can do is we are going to add another. Then I'm going to add. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into element. I'm going to add a grid. Make sure that I give this one a detach that and give it like a class of AK hero grid, right? And then for size, I want to make sure that our max is 1440. And let me delete this, like totally delete that. Let's add a container again. Let's detach this and then give it a class of AK hero grid, which is 1440, which is good. And also what I want to do is I want to give it like going back into our main section, go to structure. Let's make this one, or we can just click this, and then for like top pattern we can give it like 100 pixels free. And then for the grid, for the container itself, I'm going to go into structure, go into a grid, and I want a grid of 3 columns and then 1 row, and then in between we can do like 40 pixels. Even looks more than 40. We can do like 100 pixels. Okay, and also clicking back on the main section, I think I'm going to take this out and then make it auto, right? I think that is okay. And let's do with this. All right, so in here what we do need is three divs. So first div, we need to add an icon. So let's go into add an icon, and then this icon, let's give it grid icon, AK grid icon, and then let's add media, and then just any icon that we can find. Let's go into here and then let's add that, right? Okay, and then we can go into like typography, make this, all right, it's black already, so I'm going to leave that. And then for background, I want to make it a white background like that. And all right, so go back into size, let's lock this in, then give this one, let's say 40 pixels, and we can go into structure, lock this in and give like 10 pixels, like that. So maybe more of the size, we can give this one like 60 pixels. And yeah, and then for like stroke, let's give this one like 12 pixels. All right, maybe this is a bit more smaller than I am envisioning, so let's give this one still 40, and then this one also 40. I think that is good. And then probably the stroke, we might want to change this one to like 7 pixels. All right, so from here what we're going to do next is to add just normal paragraph text. I can go here, copy that, come here and then paste it. Okay, that's what we got to do. And next thing we do is duplicate, and then duplicate, and then that's it. I think we're there, and then we're going to save that, and let's preview it in the front. So we do have this from this, right? And if you look at it carefully, you can see that we have been able to actually recreate this. And what happened? All right, so we've been actually able to recreate the gradient at the bottom, make this SVG over here, make this circular text also over here, and yeah, created a bottom, created this card with three the 3 grid cards. And yeah, I think we are good. And even if we want to animate this, we can also animate this in any shape or form that we do want. So this is a Dribbble build using the Droip builder. Hopefully you learned 1 or 2 things. I learned a few things by building this. So the best way to learn any of these builders out there is just to keep building. If you do keep building, if you keep trying your hands on it, that is the only way you'll be able to actually learn something, get your hands on it. Because if you just keep watching, it's not really going to make any it's not really going to help. So watch it and then practice it on your own, take it, build something, tag me on it, let me see what you're building. And also, yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please try and do that. My name is Nyakon. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.